What's up, friends? Welcome to Web3 Academy, a place for entrepreneurs, creators, and marketers to explore and learn how to use Web3 to transform business models and create thriving communities. Enjoy this next episode. GM, welcome back to another episode of Web3 Academy. It's Kyle Reedhead, your host today on this episode. This episode is called the Interoperable Web from Login to Connect. What we're about to talk about here today is going to make a lot of you very happy so long as this comes true, which I believe it is. This is the future of Web3, the future of the internet, and we're going to explore what that may look like and how that may change the way that we interact with applications and websites and people on the internet. And I think this is just a very exciting thing that Web3 offers. Outside of all of the noise of markets and money and number go up, we had a difficult weekend this weekend. For anyone who's interested in the markets, we've had price go down for quite a while now, and this was an ugly weekend. And so we're going to talk about something that's just outside of that, and we're going to look further into the future. And as this stuff starts playing out, I'm sure our markets will start looking greener and much better in the future. Before I get into this, this is an article that I wrote, and I'm going to read the article, and then I'm going to dive into some more details. I've been doing this a few times over the last few weeks. I will do many more. If you have an article that you would like to write and have it sent out to our Web3 Academy community and audience, please join us in our Discord or send me a message on Twitter. Or there's also inside of this article and in the show notes, there's an application form where you can write an article, send it in, and as long as it will provide value to our audience in terms of Web3 innovation, we would love to share it to our audience and get your name out there, okay? So make sure you do that. A few other things. One, if you'd like to join our community or our Discord channel, we are now tokenizing our community. Okay. This will go into full action on May 15th. So it's coming up very quickly. And basically what we'll be doing is token gating the Discord. And so you need to fill out an application. Once you complete that application, we will, so long as you're approved, we will send you a link where you can claim an NFT, and you will use that NFT to verify in Discord. And that will give you access to the channels and inside to speak with the community. We'd love to have you. If you're an entrepreneur, a marketer, a creator, a developer, even, we now have a developers channel, which is exciting. Then we want you inside there, so long as you want to stay on the forefront of Web3. So make sure to check that out. You can find the application in the show notes below. And final thing is the following week from this week, depending on when you're listening to this, but I will be at Permissionless, a Web3, DeFi, and crypto conference in West Palm Beach, Miami, Florida. And I would love to meet any of the Web3 Academy community and listeners. So if you're going to be there as well, or you're in the area, please reach out. Hit me up in Discord. Hit me up on Twitter. My name there is just Kyle Reedhead. And also you can find it in the show notes below. But I'd love to meet up while we're there. And if there's a bunch of us, maybe we can do a Web3 Academy meetup. But otherwise, I'd love to share a drink. Maybe we'll film a podcast. Who knows what we'll do? There's lots of events, lots of things happening, and I'd love to just meet others inside of this community. So please, if you're going, reach out and let me know. Without further ado, let's dive into the interoperable web from login to connect. So this is how Web3 will make the idea of logging in redundant. So the internet took a wrong turn at some point in its development, right? It became a siloed network whereby every application and platform was left to build and manage their own account and login systems for users, right? There's only one of me, yet I have hundreds of accounts and profiles across the internet. As a result, we're all left trying to remember hundreds of passwords and then verifying who we are with SMS, authenticator apps, personal verification questions, and even alternative emails, right? Even worse is when we're forced to share our electrical bills or upload a selfie holding our driver's license and a written word or date on paper, right? Is the internet really progressing, or are we going backwards here? It's insane that in 2022, this is something that I have to do, right? There's got to be a better way. Well, there is a better way, right? It's called Web3 interoperability. So currently, there are tens of thousands of developers building out a new iteration of the internet called Web3, right? They are reconstructing the backend infrastructure so the internet becomes things like more permissionless, censorship resistant, trustless. I talk about those a lot. We talk about those a lot in our podcast. But what we're going to talk about more in this article is it's also rebuilding the internet to become more interoperable and composable. So applications can start to share features of the internet instead of having to create their own databases and logins and accounts and things for every single application. So in Web3, we no longer log in, we just connect. And I'm going to dive into what that means. But first, let's look at what's happening in Web 2 and the problem with this. Other than it being a pain in the ass, there's a lot more problems to it than that. So in Web 2, we rent out our profiles and accounts from the applications that we use, okay? We are at the mercy of the corporation who owns the application and take on the risk that they could block or restrict our account whenever they please, right? This is also true of the assets we have within the applications. And I say assets in quotations because we don't really own any of that. It's not really truly an asset, but think of things like the images we post on Facebook or Instagram, right? Our personal data, the things that we're doing and clicking on and sites we're visiting, our followers, that's definitely an asset, right? Anyone who has a business that has followers on social media, that is a big asset that helps you generate revenue and bring traffic to your website, right? So any of your followers, your content, it's all owned by the application rather than the user. And it can be shut down at any time. And this is the problem. I mean, I actually had my Facebook account shut down about 3.5, maybe 4 years ago now. My personal Facebook account, along with, I used to have a bunch of big Facebook groups with big communities in the health space. I had an ads account. I had a full business running basically from Facebook and Instagram, and it shut my Facebook down completely. I won't even say it in case someone from Facebook is listening and they decide to ban me again, but I had to skirt around the system in order to get that back. And so it's unfortunate. I basically lost the business as a result of, and I didn't even do anything wrong. Facebook just blocked me. I guess due to, they said spam or something. We don't really know. I didn't really get any answers. That's the problem. But this is because as users of the internet, we don't have our own profile or account for the internet. That part of the internet was just never really built, right? Instead, we're forced to create new accounts every time we use an application, right? In the physical world, this would be like a kind of having to put on a certain outfit or a name every time we enter a store. And then when we leave that store, we have to leave it there and then we can leave. And then we got to do it again at the next one, right? It doesn't really make any sense whatsoever. But this is what we do with the internet right now. And the problem is that every time we create one of those accounts, it's not ours. It's that website's, and they are now entrusted to store our data. We have to trust them to not use our data. And we have to hope that they keep their servers up and they don't go out of business. Otherwise, that account is all gone. Everything that I've built or put on there is at risk of that corporation, right? So before diving into the benefits of how sort of the Web3 version may work, it's important to note that this technology actually already exists. So what I'm going to talk about, it does already exist, albeit it's in a very nascent form, right? So for any of you that have used Web3 already, you probably know what I'm talking about, but these accounts or profiles that I'm mentioning are in the form of a non-custodial crypto wallet, like let's say your MetaMask or Phantom if you're on Solana, right? These crypto browser extensions, you could call them, right? Many of us use this today to buy and exchange tokens, right? We do it with our NFTs, we do it with our social tokens and our DeFi tokens, and this is how we interact with protocols on the blockchain, right? Now, these crypto browser extensions or these wallets that I'm talking about, they're different from like a crypto account on something like Coinbase or Binance, right? As these are non-custodial. What that means is the wallet is not owned by any corporation or application or company, right? Not even the company who built that specific wallet, like the technology for it, it's not even tied to their application, okay? So meaning no one, not even them, the owners, like the ones who built it, they can't alter your wallet. They can't block your wallet or restrict the assets in it or do anything with it. It is completely yours. Whereas on Coinbase, for example, or Binance, it's just simply account inside an application, just like your Facebook account and every Web 2 account that I'm sort of discussing above, right? So let's sort of look at how do Web 3 wallets, how they're going to work in the future. right? For a user to begin using Web3, and this is true today, they first need to create a unique wallet. Again, a MetaMask wallet, a Phantom wallet, whatever you choose, you need to create one. And that wallet is not just, wallet might be the wrong word here, because it's actually your account or profile for all of the applications that you're about to interact with, okay? So this wallet is non-custodial. It exists only on your specific device and can be recovered only through some sort of biometric screening or social recovery of friends and family. We'll see where that technology goes. Today, this is the equivalent of, memorizing your 12 to 24, word seed phrase. But I'm pretty confident that UX will not last. That's not what we're going to be doing. So everyone here needs to be thinking in the future, not right now. Wallets are terrible UX right now. I get that. But eventually they're going to improve. And there are already wallets that are improving on this. Argent, for an example, is a layer 2 smart contract wallet where it doesn't have seed phrases. You don't get a seed phrase, but it uses social recovery. So you choose contacts, people that you trust. And if you were to ever get locked out of your wallet, lose your device, whatever, you can go to your, I forget what they're called, delegates maybe, or custodians, I believe it is, and they can help you recover your wallet. So very interesting, again, experiment. We'll see where this goes. I got a feeling eventually it goes down to some sort of biometric screening and maybe a combination of friends and family, kind of social recovery. We'll see where that goes. But in this wallet, you can update any personal information you choose, right? And you can already do this. I can attach an ENS domain to my wallet. So when I log into things, it logs me in as kylereedhead.eth, not as whatever numbers, OXF, blah, 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 blah. Right? You can upload a unique avatar. I can already do this. I can use a verified NFT that I can upload to my wallet in ENS, again, is where you can do this, which is Ethereum name service. And now when I log into applications, my NFT, my profile picture, or my avatar, it moves with me. I don't have to create one every time I create a new account. My name, my picture, it all just goes with me as I connect into these applications. So I can connect a decentralized domain name, so meaning like a website or a way to accept funds instead of, again, the OX and these crazy long numbers. I can make a name based off that I actually own as an NFT. And inside these accounts or these wallets, I can load it with any digital asset that I please, as well as control the data that I'm going to be sharing with any application that I connect with, right? So once this is set up, whenever you want to use the internet moving forward, you simply log into your wallet once, and then you move in and out of applications. Okay, so all the information mentioned above, it just moves with you from one application to another, and anything that you accumulate, whether that be assets like money, right? It could be followers, it could be ratings. Think of something like, I don't know, Airbnb or Uber, things like that, where you get ratings on like how good your customer service was or whatever. That's an asset that could be useful to you in the future. And so that can be stored and controlled inside of your wallet. Let's say testimonials, maybe you earned rewards through, think of like credit card rewards or rewards inside of like Air Miles or inside of other applications. These all go into your wallet and can be then taken out. The rewards are not stuck and locked into that one app or that one, website. It's in your wallet that you can now leave with those rewards and do what you want with. So that's cool. You also can store things that you purchase, right? NFTs, digital goods, skins inside of games, like whatever that is, it all goes into your wallet, not to an account of an application. So things you purchase with an application can move with you, and all this can move from one app to the next. And so if you're looking at the picture here, I have sort of Web 1, which is, your username and password. So you create an account. Then you have sort of Web 2, which really Web 2 is both username and password. I think many people still use this, but the image shows sign in with Google, sign in with Facebook, sign in with Twitter. This was sort of the first interoperable, let's call it that, idea here of not having to have accounts anymore. Instead, you have one that you just move into different applications with. It's not really that. You still are sharing the data with both applications at this point. And also your account, your one account is now, it's even worse because it's controlled by one company, Google, Facebook, or Twitter. Probably not what you want to be doing if all of your assets, your reputation, your followers, et cetera, are all in that one wallet. Not the way you want this to work. But either way, you're still logging in and signing in. The data is going to a third party. In Web3, we have Connect Wallet. And so that's the big term I want you to differentiate here is connect versus log in. So if you think about when you go to a new website, right, and you need an account there, what does it ask you? It says log in with your username and password or create an account. And if you choose create an account or you already have an account, what that's doing is, again, creating a brand new account stored on that company's database. And now they control your account. Okay. And they can do whatever they want with it. Which also is difficult for applications, right? They actually have to go and build in these features for every single website and every single application. Like that gets to be a pain, right? Because it's being replicated on every single website and it makes no sense. Whereas the way that Web3 is doing this is through just connecting. So now it removes the need for these databases and these accounts inside websites. And all you're doing is just, you have your own account that lives with you. It is your kind of, you almost want to think about it as like your personal dashboard to the internet. Right? As soon as you want to go to the internet, right now we go to Google typically. I don't know, that's my main page when I get on the internet, right? But what's going to happen here is, and it might even be just your entire browser is this wallet. And so when you open it up, you're already logged in. Your browser is literally your wallet, right? And now in your browser, every time that you go to a site, it's just auto connecting in, right? And it's just taking the data that's in your wallet, in your browser, in your account, that one account, and you can just start to do whatever you want with it. Okay, so it removes that whole account thing that applications need to make, and you just connect in. And then when you disconnect, you're no longer part of that application. It doesn't have your data anymore, right? But when you're connected, it might be able to use some data because you want to give data applications sometimes. It helps to make the UX and the experience much better for you, right? So what you might be able to do then is choose the data that you're sharing with that application. But what's great is whenever you're ready to leave, you just disconnect. And now that data comes with you and it doesn't stay with them. Okay. So that's kind of the idea here of connect versus log in. So this is true interoperability and what the internet needs to create digital experiences more like the real world. So let's take a look at some of the implications here. There's a lot that can, that's really going to change in the internet as a result of these new wallets. So first, and I have a bullet pointed list here for those that are listening. So I'm just going to walk us through each one. And I'll give some insight on each one as well. So users will only need to log into one account moving forward. The rest will simply be just connect after that. Already that seems like it's totally worth it. Let's just do this Web3 thing just for that one functionality and I will be completely happy because the amount of times that, you know, you got to create new accounts and manage your passwords and all this, it's absolutely insane. My Spotify account was hacked over the weekend and someone just somehow got in. I don't know how. They found my password maybe, and they changed the email. And so I could still get in on my phone, but they were also in. So I was at the gym and I'm trying to listen to a song and this person on the other end, I don't know where he was or she, and they would just play their own song. And then I would play my song back and they would play theirs. And I'm like, this is insane that this is happening right now. But that's the way it goes. And for me to get my account back, I had to share credit card statements and all this stuff. It's a mess. Okay. So if required in the future, and we'll see how regulation unfolds here, but you'll only need to verify or KYC, know your customer, your identity just one time for that one account. That's it. Right. And then you don't have to do it for every single banking or, financial application that you want to use. And even better is there's a new cryptographic technology called zero knowledge proofs. I'm not going to get too deep into this right now. But essentially, this will allow you to verify that you are a unique human, right? You are the human you say you are, but without actually providing any personal information whatsoever, right? So a lot of these applications are requiring you to upload, I don't know, your electricity bill and your ID, et cetera. And this is just to prove that you're a human, right? That you are a unique human, more or less. And so there are ways that we can show that we are a unique human without actually giving away my name and my address and my electrical bill. And it's called zero knowledge proofs. And so it's proving things without any of that knowledge. So it's very interesting. It's a new technology. The Argent wallet that I talked about is actually built on top of a zero knowledge proof layer. So basically these are being built currently as layer 2s for Ethereum. There will be many use cases for this. I think this is one of the most exciting technology in the space. There is an article that's linked inside this article on zero knowledge proofs if you want to learn more about them. But I expect you're going to hear a lot more about them over the coming years, though it also might not be. I mean, they call them ZKs, and probably we just won't even know. We'll just use them. We don't know actually what they're called, but they're going to do cool things for identity and that in the future. So moving from one application to another will become frictionless. So imagine your Twitter followers can be ported over to your Instagram follower or to your Instagram account seamlessly, right? Think about how much of a pain that is. If all of a sudden I'm kind of over Instagram, I don't want to use it anymore, or I don't like what Instagram does. I don't like Meta and Facebook. So I want to use a different application, right? Well, if I have 20,000 followers on Instagram, I'm probably not going to do that because I'm stuck over here on Instagram because that's where my followers are. That's where my potential customers are, right? And so, and my community is in my audience. So I can't really move elsewhere. Web3 allows us people will start to just follow your wallet, right? Or your profile, and you can go from one social account to the other. Lens protocol is one that's sort of building the infrastructure for this to happen, where you can build as many social platforms as you want on top of Lens, and then you can just move from one to the other. And so let's say you like what this social platform is doing more because, I don't know, it's more like Twitter and it's more text-based. You can go there, and then all of a sudden a new thing hits and it's like video is better. You can just move over there and your followers can go with you over there. And that's really cool. It's somewhat similar to how email works, right? Whereas, I can send emails through Gmail, through Outlook, through whatever. It doesn't matter what platform people are. They can still get my email. It still works somewhat seamlessly, and I can move from my emails from one platform to the other. Sort of similar to that, not exactly. Payments become seamless and without the need for trusted intermediaries across any application. Right now, every time you ever make a payment online, unless you're using crypto at the moment, although most of the time it's still this way, but you're using something like Stripe or PayPal or whatever else. These are all third-party intermediaries, and we have to trust that they will do what I say they will do, right? There are many times that people buy products, let's say using PayPal, and PayPal has a different refund policy than the business itself. And so if someone tries to get a refund through, let's say our business, I can say, no, you're past the deadline, you don't meet the rules, whatever, but they can go just do a refund in PayPal. And so long as it fits their rules, they'll just do the refund. And all of a sudden I lost out on money for no reason. It's also, if you live in certain countries, PayPal doesn't work there, and neither does Stripe. So all of a sudden, many people, millions of people in the world, if not more, are blocked from a lot of commerce, a lot of products and services in this world, just because Stripe doesn't want to use it. Or it might not be Stripe's fault, but because of the underlying technology that Stripe uses, right? So again, we have to trust it's not permissionless. Once we are only using our wallets, this is all gone. We no longer have a need for intermediaries anymore. We can just move payments seamlessly and permissionlessly, and that is really exciting. So you own and you custody all of your internet assets, right? This is, of course, one of the promises of crypto. We all are aware of this, but similar to the physical, here's the best way to explain this, similar to physical custody of cash or your passport, where like no one knows if I give someone some cash or my passport is in my hand, no one can just like delete that or block that or take that from me, right? This is not true of anything on the internet right now, okay? And so with these wallets, I now can custody, let's say, my digital assets, my data, my identity, my followers, my business ratings, right? Again, think Airbnb or Uber. These are all important things that could have been deleted, and now they can't once they're all inside of our Web3 wallet. Your privacy settings, your notifications, and other unique design or functionalities that you desire while using the internet may also be interoperable across each application. Now, this isn't really a thing we have yet. But if you think about it, how many times do you create an account and you upload your picture, of course, you upload your name, maybe you put in a bio, maybe you choose night mode or day. Maybe you have notifications where you don't ever get emails or you don't ever make a noise, or whatever. You have to do that with every single application. And that's frustrating. Well, once I just choose those settings on my wallet and I connect in, those privacy and notification settings will just interact with the application, and it will just automatically happen and work as I intend it to. And I don't have to change that for every single website. You control what personal or activity, your personal or data applications or other users can see or use. We have some spelling errors there. We'll fix. But basically what I mean is that you control your personal data or your activity data that applications can use. That's the way I meant to say it. And an example of this already, just to kind of paint a picture, is Brave browser. If you've ever used Brave. And Brave, the way it works is it's sort of like a Web 2.5 application. It's still a centralized organization, et cetera. But basically what you do is you have control of your data. And so users can select if they want to receive ads from third parties. And if they do select that, then they are paid in a cryptocurrency if they choose to see it. And the cryptocurrency here is called BAT, B-A-T. And they can choose to be paid to see the ads. If they choose not to, they don't want to see ads, that's fine. They will never see an ad and they just don't get paid. And where does the money come from? It comes from the advertisers. So the advertisers are paying direct to the user. Now, it's not direct yet, but this is the way it's going to go. As I said, Brave is still a Web 2.5 company, let's call it. But it's split. So the users get some of the funds and then Brave gets some of the funds. So for example, on Facebook, Facebook gets all of the funds, right? So a big change there. What could be even cooler is you think about this, as we protect our user data, you know, you might think a lot of people are just not going to want to see ads. We're all going to block our data. But here's the thing, big corporations and governments, they need this stuff. They need to see our data. And if all of a sudden we take it from them, they're going to want it. You know what they're going to do? They're going to pay for it. Okay. And so all of a sudden what's going to happen is there's going to be a market, an open free market for your data. And so in the future, you may have the opportunity to sell your data to them instead, and not just sell it like in the way that Brave does it, but you might be able to put auctions, right? Maybe you're a certain type of person and you have data that X company or X government really, really wants and needs. And so you say, well, you can't have my data or you can't see this unless you pay X amount for this data, kind of thing. And we'll see, it'll be an open marketplace. But I would bet this is where this is going to go. And we all start to earn revenues off of our data because it is a valuable asset, right? Data is the new oil, we've been saying for years, except if I had a bunch of oil, I could sell it and I would make some money from it. I can't do that with my data. Well, that's what's coming. And this, I think, is going to be a massive industry in the future. I'm really excited to see how that plays out. So as we can see from the list above, this technology offers users more than just a simple login experience. Web3 puts control and ownership into the hands of the users and forces the corporations to do what's best for the users, right? If they choose not to, users can simply move to a competitor with essentially no friction. And that, to me, is massive. I believe that this will have a massive impact on the relationship that businesses will have with their customers, ultimately creating a better user experience across the internet and potentially, this is what we hope, a more fair and community-driven digital experience. If you think about this right now, everybody hates Facebook, right? Everyone hates it, but we all still use it. There's more than 2 billion people on multiple of Facebook platforms. Why? Because we have no choice. Where are we going to go? We can't really go anywhere else, right? And so they have this sort of monopoly on social and communication, and they can treat us however they want. And we can't do anything about it. But in Web3, as this gets built out, people can leave easily, really easily. And it's literally to the point of just disconnect and then connect to another one. That's how simple it is. And so this is going to force protocols and applications and corporations to do what's right for their users, because the users will just leave, right? It's similar to if we think about the way it works in the real world, where governments are supposed to do what's right for their people, right? And in an ideal world, if governments don't do what's right for their people, they leave. Okay. We see this right now. A lot of people are not happy with what Russia's doing. Many of them have fled to Turkey and to Georgia and other countries around there. Now, not as many as I'm sure they would like to. I'm sure many more would like to leave, but it's very, very challenging to leave if you have a job, a home, a family, et cetera, in that nation state, and you don't like the rules. It's very difficult for you to go anywhere. Right. And this is what's also true in Web 2 online. Web 3 flips that on its head and allows us to just move to the places that we are treated best. And to me, that I think is one of the most exciting things that's going to come out of Web 3. hopefully you guys had a great experience from this episode and you've learned a lot from this episode. I'd love to hear other ideas that you think are going to come from these Web3 wallets and sort of this interoperability aspect. So join our Discord and hit me up in there and let me know, one, that you listen to this podcast. And two, let me know some of your own bullet points. What are the things you're thinking of? This is not an exhaustive list. This is just what I was thinking of as I was writing. We'll see where this goes, right? We're still years from this. I mean, it's already there. It exists. It's not for all of the applications we use every day, but it's coming. But I'd love to hear what you guys think might also happen or what you've seen being built out there. So either hit me up on Twitter. Please share this episode and let me know that you listened to it and give me your thoughts, your feedback. We'll be discussing it in the Discord, so make sure you're there as well. But thank you everyone for listening to this episode, and we'll see you in the next one later this week. Take care, friends, and let's hope for greener markets in the near future. Thank you for listening to Web3 Academy. We hope this helps you along your Web3 journey. And if it does, please share this episode and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. By the way, if you've yet to join the Discord community, you are missing out. This is where all the magic happens. This is where we learn, where we ask questions, where we network. You want to be in there. The link to join is in the description below. And finally, a quick disclaimer. Nothing in this podcast was financial advice. Crypto and Web3 can be risky. You can literally lose it all. In fact, if you invest on account of what we say, you probably will lose it all. So don't do that. In all honesty, the point of this podcast is to remove the noise of markets and price and focus on utility and implementation anyway. So you should not take any of this as financial advice. Thank you, friends, and see you in the next one.